Hello guys, welcome to my channel Lucid Fanfic, and if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest videos. So be sure to stick around until the end, and let's get started. Hello there, I am Izuka Midoriya. Boy, do I have a story for you on how one perverted grape changed my life. We begin this tale with that grape caught trying to sneak in the girl's shower. After the severe beating I gave him as was tired of this stuff, I took him to Aizawa and Nizu. He was punished but not expelled, which annoyed me, as if they just boot him out we have no problems. But no, he has potential. F is potential in the rear with a power drill. Ahem. Apologies, just I despise pervs. Anyway, where was I? Oh yes, he was on trash detail for the entire school. Nice punishment if I must say so. Just add expulsion, please, Nizu. Well, after that, Nizu devised a change to the dorms. All 6 girls would be on the same floor. I saw no problem with that, and we went about our day. The next morning while we left to go to class, the dorms was to be changed as requested. We all got up and headed class. Cue oblivious, dense me trying to talk to the girls when they would come up and talk to me. Well, anyway, after classes, we went back to the modified dorm. I had the awesome pleasure along with Sato to be the pack mules and carry all their heavy as hell stuff. I have OFA people, not a unbreakable back. That thing was heavy as a mother of him. Anyway, like the dumbass, I agreed, and Sato just felt sorry for me, so he volunteered. We got everything put in place, and Sato left. As I was going to head to my room, however, the girls were all gathered down the hall, leading to the stairs and elevator. My lack of a danger sense quirk at the time, I stupidly went over. Well, turns out the unused room was not to be unused. The girls giggled a lot, which in hindsight was the first sign things was about to get weird. Oh, awesome. We get Deku-kun to keep the boys out. Yelled Ochako Uraraka, also known as my biggest crush. We'll get their people got a world build. I walked up after hearing that, looked at their smiling faces, and I froze. What? Were you expecting me to be some super cool chill guy and play it off? Hell no, I was terrified at the time. Wait, what? I started to turn red as the girls explained the room is assigned to me. I, of course, being the highly intelligent man, said this in response. Oh, that's nice, huh? As I promptly passed out. I was woken up by someone slapping the taste out of my mouth and nearly a tooth. Out with the I look up to see Momo Yaoyorozu smirking at me. I fainted again, didn't I? She nodded, and at that moment, a sleepy hobo who looks half dead walked up. Problem child. What seems to be the trouble this time? I looked at him, pointed to my new room, and he sighs. The rat decided to have you sleep here, as you're the only boy that does anything to Mineta when he goes perv mode. Said our homeroom teacher Shota Aizawa. Seriously, the hell, Nizu? Momo, upon hearing this, giggled and started to create some things. The other girls all giggled as well. I have now deduced I am in danger and try to run, only for Aizawa to catch me with his capture scarf. Curse you, Aizawa-sensei, you traitor. I screamed as he groaned. Damn it, problem child. I don't like it either, but the rat demanded it, and he scares me a hell of a lot more than you do. So deal with it. He sighs and leaves as I turn neon red as the girls all smiled at me with a blush. Dumbass me thought they had fevers. Well, they did, just not the kind I was imagining. Momo, having finished her creations, made me stop for a moment. Holy cow, Momo loves video games too. Was my thoughts upon seeing the Master Sword and Hylian Shield. I mean, you're not the real ones, but a nerd can dream, damn it. Sorry I keep going off on tangents. Anyway, I looked at my female classmates. They were Momo Yuzu, Kyokujiro, Mina Ishido, Ochako Uraraka, Toru Hagakure, and last but certainly not least, Suyu Ajui. I was too embarrassed to do more than blush like a strawberry and go high. Ochako giggled as Momo handed me the sword and shield. Well, we shall welcome you, noble Sir Izuka Midoriya, to be captain of our royal guard, he. I blinked a few times before I looked at the Master Sword. Looked at the girls. Back to the sword. Bye, I said before unsheathing the sword and trying to go the noble route of suicide. But nope, Sue snatched the sword. Oh, come on, Midori, we're not that bad, right? Asked Toru, who I think was pointing at the girls. Hard to tell with an invisible girl. I sighed. No, but I'm not good around beautiful girls. The only beautiful girl I can even function around is Uraraka. I say out loud, as Uraraka becomes a floating red face Kirby. The other girls laughed a bit before Toru, Tsu, and Jiro out of nowhere say in unison, "Well, it's only Ochako, Mina, and Yamamo, right? So you should be fine with us." "Karo." I shook my head. "No, it's BLL of you." Jiro was red-faced, and even the jackalobes went red. Tsu had a small blush. I assumed Toru did too. Again, she is invisible. How the hell would I know? Damn it, Kakin, I blame you for making present me swear so much. Past me was an adorable cinnamon roll of innocence. You stole my soul, you bast. Ahem. Ahem. Back to the story. All the girls were blushing messes. Well, I assumed because after looking at me in the eyes, Tsu went camo mode and ran off. I heard a thud and saw Ochako had returned her own gravity and fell on top of Toru. Jiro just sort of stood there blushing with mouth open and her jacks on the floor. Mina had a lilac blush on her cheeks and her horns, which weirded me out as how do horns blush? Momo just blushed and kind of looked away. "Really?" asked Toru once Ochako got off her. "Yes." "Why? Did I say the wrong thing?" Jiro then popped and howled on my beautiful mop head, sighing and now beginning to realize the hell I just put myself, and I did my best to not stutter. I think anyway. That, or I'm just spitballing as I honestly just remember bits and never mind. The cute nose and pretty onyx eyes. Toothy grin. The somewhat husky voice. The snarky sarcasm you always have for Kaminari when he pervs. The slender frame and great mind. Yeah, you have smaller curve than the others, but that suits you, I think. You're smarter than people think, as they only see a punk rock girl. She freezes and looks around. What? I shrug, awaiting the jacks to pierce my eyes and bring that sweet relief of death. Unfortunately, she started to tear up a bit, and I was very confused. "Sorry, I didn't mean to make you cry." Scared for my life, I began looking for nearest exit when the other girls chimed in. That was so sweet. I'm still awaiting my death when I feel a weight crash into me. Oof, oh God. Here's how I die. I said aloud when the other girls laugh, and I then look, and hugging the stuffing out of me was Kyoka. Jiro, saying thank you as unbeknownst to me. Her quirk allows her to essentially detect lies, meaning she heard my honest opinion. Thank you, Green Bean. That means a lot. Confused again, I sigh and hug back. You're welcome, Jiro. After she gets off of me, the girls help me up. I was about to go to my new room to see if I needed to move my stuff too. Suddenly, I felt a hug from behind and something wet against my cheek. I freeze up only to hear Toru say thanks. I instantly do my best impression of a strawberry. Wow, Toru-chan, did you just embrace his cheek? How did it feel? Asked Momo, making me hit Inferno Overdrive and steam shot out of my ears. Yup. He has some soft cheeks, too. Hee. I was busy holding the cheek she embraced as she continued. No one's ever called me that, or not since my core came anyway. She said sadly. Everyone stopped then, and even Tsu turned off her camo. Not even Mina had known that about Toru. People only saw my body and clothes, and that's what they'd compliment, if anything. Never my words or my personality. Just my body. It started to feel like I was always alone, even at home. My parents had to get a tracking device put in me when I was young, as they could not see me if I wasn't in clothes. They were afraid something would happen to me, and no one would ever find me. As time went on, I just sort of got used to the idea that I was just a voice in clothing. She said, causing more tears to flow. I could understand that. My years as a quirkless peasant, most just either ignored me or abused me. After a while, Momo said we should let me get to my room and told me to keep the sword and shield with a wink. Seriously, why did I just learn this about you, Momo? I have like all the Zelda games, come on. I thought as I remembered Toru's words. I went to the room and sighed. I had to go get my stuff. I set the sword and a shield down as I walked out to be met by Momo and Ochako. Hi, girls? How can I help? I asked as they smiled. Well, Deku-kun, it's the other way around. We figured you'd need help with your stuff, so we offer to help. Huh. Did not see that coming. Are you sure? They nodded, so we headed back to my old room. On the way, I asked Momo how she knew I liked the Zelda series. Oh, I was there when you and Kaminari argued over which one was better. I mean, I knew you were into heroes, but you did not strike me as the type to love video games. You got pretty heated arguing with him. Breath of the Wild is a great one, but you're right. Ocarina of Time is better. I gasped, wait, you play games? Ochako sighs a bit as Momo and I continue talking about the games all the way up to my room. In hindsight, it was a bad idea to have the girls help, because what I found was that while everything had been boxed up, there was an angry Pikachu, Pomeranian, and Grape awaiting us. Sighing, I try to be polite. Did not go so well. I hate you so much, Midoriya. I should be the girls' guard, HMPGH. I didn't let him finish before kicking him down the hall with 20% full cowling. Sadly, he only bounced 15 times before flying out the window. Upon seeing that, the girls went into my room at light speed and took everything as I was stuck dealing with Pikachu and Pomeranian. By the end, I was sparking and my clothes ruined. Aizawa, God bless his soul, put the three of them on house arrest, and I was dragged to Recovery Girl, then dragged all the way to my dorm. I could have walked back, though, Aizawa. Luckily, though, no house arrest, so yay. After making it back to the dorms and finally getting to my new room, it looked exactly like my old one. All the girls pitched in to help while I was with Recovery Girl, which, to be honest, kind of freaked me out. But then I remember the picture we took there after we moved into the dorms, which made more sense. Wow, you all did this while I was getting patched up? Thanks, I said as they all just gave me a you're welcome. We're happy to help. Huh, who knew they were all so nice? Especially Jiro. She could be kind of cruel at times, but usually there was a reason for that. As the evening wore on, we had dinner, and Aizawa explained that I was to be posted as the security of their floor. As such, if my Netta was caught doing any more perverted antics, I was within my right to remove him from there under any means I felt necessary. I smiled wide at this and hoped he would try. Got to test out the sword, he. Boys needed the girls, and my express permission to visit any of the girls. If granted, they had to be within my line of sight at all times. As well, no boy other than myself was to be allowed on the floor during the night. Violations of these rules will be met with severe punishments. Of my choosing. Oh, good God, yes, let Pikachu, Kakin, and Mineta break him. As well, any girls that would not be on their floor after dark for any reason needed to inform me prior to that, and that I have to check every girl's room to make sure they are there and search to ensure no boys are there. After Aizawa stated the rules and left, the boys all eyed me suspiciously as Mineta and Kaminari screamed they should have the group and not me. Me being an idiot asked, what are they talking about? The girls and majority of the boys sighed as Mina patted my head and said, I'll tell you later. I shrugged and was like, okay. We finished dinner, and everyone went to their respective rooms. I went inside and was sighing as I muttered to myself before calming down. Well, could be worse, I suppose. Now I just have to get over my nervousness around girls. Hee, I'm so screwed. I said to my ceiling, for a voice to reply, that you do, Deku-kun. I nodded in agreement. Then froze, holy cow. Haunted ceiling. I shout before I was tapped on the shoulder and turned to see Ochako. No, it's just me, Deku-kun. I jump up spooked as I never heard her enter. What did you get here, Uraraka? She laughed a bit. Oh, about 5 minutes ago while you were muttering up a storm. Seriously, even Jiro and Tsuyu can't go that long without breathing. How do you do that? I blinked and thought about it. Oh, I don't know. I just do. Ochako laughs as I just smile sheepishly. Why are you here anyway, Uraraka? She gets quiet a bit before smiling. Well, I want to make sure you were handling this well. You always get scared and nervous, so I was hoping you weren't freaking out too much. Well, and to say I'm thankful it's you who is the one who always stops my Netta. So I have faith you'll be fine. We just need to find a way to help you relax around girls. I was blushing from the praise and happy she was worried for me. Yeah. Thanks. So, I know any way to help? I asked. She put on that thinking face pose and sighed. Yeah, I got nothing. But I will ask Yamamo or Mina. Maybe they know. I thought about it for a second. Well, Yaoyorozu is really smart. So maybe, but Ishido? Ochako blinks a few times. Oh, maybe not Mina. She may suggest something bad. Why did I think she could help? I just shrug. We talked for a while before my first time to ensure all girls were in the dorm and in their rooms as it's curfew. I walked Uraraka to her room and did the search to ensure no boys were there and bade her good night. Then We went to each room and did the same. It was fine up until I got to Momo's room. As I ensured she was there and was led in to search, I noticed she was in the middle of a boss fight. I laughed a bit. What? I like them, okay? I smiled. I didn't say anything. I was laughing as that boss fight took me forever when I first played it. She blinked can you give me some pointers? I blinked. A maybe? She went through explaining in very fine detail what she was doing. I explained how I usually do it and watched as she finally barely managed to win. As such, she got really excited and hopped up and hugged me. I'm not sure if you've ever met Momo Yaoyorozu, but let's just say she has jumbo watermelons, and you'll understand why I was a blushing mess. Seeing as her pajamas tonight were sleep pants and a tank top with no bra that barely held them massive mammaries in. Plus, that's at near eye level for me. I'm short. Oh, huh. Screw you. Anyway, now to the wordy words of wordness. Yaoyorozu can't breathe, I said. Catching her attention to what she was doing, she yelped and let me go as I gasped for air. Sorry, Midoriya, she said with a sheepish grin. No worries, I said, smiling as my air returned. Hee hee. Yeah, though, please don't tell anyone I almost smothered you with my melons. I think they get the wrong impression. I laughed. True, they would. Wait, realization hits me that she literally hugged me in her melons. Why did I not realize it then? Again, I'm an idiot. Moving on. I was currently having to reboot and apparently blacked out for a bit because yet again, snap out of it is Deku. Yep, she slapped me out of my own brain. Ow, why? She dead pants at me. You were spaced out again. I nod. Oh, okay. But you call me Izuku. She went red. Oh, did I? I nodded yes as she fidgeted there. Okay, I did, yes. You freaked me out when I mentioned I almost smothered you with my melons. I blinked. Sorry. Just hadn't realized you had shoved my face into your, I try to think of the right way to say it as she chuckles. Melons Midoriya Kuin. They're called melons. I look at her nodding yeah. She smiles. You need to relax, Midoriya. You stress yourself out too much. I smile a bit. Yeah, don't I know it? Hee hee. Well, I should get back to my room. Yours was last I had to check. She giggles as she bids farewell. I exit to the hallway and notice a grapist-shaped shadow by my door. I walked up to notice my door was scratched up and the grapist hadn't noticed me. Say, Mineta, you do realize you were vandalizing my door while being here after dark, right? Mineta jumped and squealed. Midoriya, you scare the piss out of me. Wait, where were you just now? Oh my god. Where you have SE, I grab him by the collar and lift him up. Where I was, and what I was doing is called my job. It is my job to ensure little perverts like you aren't sneaking into the girls' rooms at night. So I'm supposed to visit each room at night before they sleep and search their rooms for possible grapists. Seriously, kid, how did you even make it to UA, and why did they never expel you? Mineta growls at me, bull, you were probably having it with someone and just making up that rule. Yelling loudly. I sigh. Aizawa explained all the rules at dinner. This was one of them. I have been far too patient with you, it seems. In case you did not know, this job came with some special equipment, Mineta. I say as the girls begin filing out to see what was going on. Ah, there we are. Girls, would one of you please hand me the Master Sword? Is it just inside the door? Yaoyorozu smirks. Oh yes. Please wait just a moment. Wait the what? Asks Mineta as he tried scrambling out of my grasp. Here we are, Sir Midoriya, she says, handing me the blade. Many thanks, milady. Now, Mineta, I have been very patient and lenient with you so far. Depending on how this conversation goes, you may never be a real boy ever again. Do you understand me? His eyes as wide as dinner plates and surrounded by evil, smiling girls. He nods, praying to keep his manhood. Jiro-san, please ensure that your quirk is working properly. Jiro whips a jack into his chest and sends some vibrations. Good. Good now, grapist. Why did you violate multiple rules to come vandalize my door? He looks at me. Because I should be the one with the group, not you. I snarl, but before I can respond, Momo says, well, seeing as you're the one who caused us to be situated on a floor with this adorable cinnamon roll, I guess we should thank you for allowing us to be his group. I blink a few times as the other girls giggle a bit. Yeah, Mophead here definitely earns his keep as group king. Jiro says as she sends more vibrations. Definitely with Deku as the one we're with, I have no problems being in a group. Okay, y'all just messing with my Netta, right? I think to myself, yeah, besides, have you seen Midori without a shirt? So many muscles. Mina says, slightly drooling. So true. Not to mention that other sword he hides. So big and yummy. Bet yours as small as a tic-tac and tastes like death. Says Toru. I blush as I smile viciously at my Netta, trying to appear like I'm angry when inside I am losing my marbles. Very true. Karo. Not to mention, he knows how to pleasure us all in one night. Karo. Damn it, Sue, you're not helping the situation one bit. My Netta is crying hard at this point. Most definitely. Is it any wonder we let him play with our bodies as he sees fit when you can't measure up? Says Momo as my Netta yelps in pain. So there's a height requirement? Sighing, I looked at him. My Netta, there's not just a height requirement, but a morality one as well. I say with a snarl. Even for the flat-chested small, but having obvious lesbo? Before anyone can blink, I slice the balls off his hair and cut off his shirt without leaving a scratch. Now you listen to me, you miserable thing. Kyoka may not have big melons, but like you desire, but you will never speak ill of her body or actuality again. Do you understand? Because if you do, I may not miss. I'm not a good swordsman, so consider yourself lucky I didn't kill you just now. I could tell Jiro was crying, and I turned around and walked towards her while choking my Netta. Remember what I said earlier, Kyoka? Was I lying then? She shook her head as tears fell. Good. Now punch him in the face as hard as you can. I hold my Netta up, and she delivers a world-class right hook. Very nice. Your hand-to-hand has gotten better. Now, my Netta, what do we say to the nice lady for teaching you a right hook? I let up so he can breathe. Thanks, nice lady. I shake him a bit. No, dumbass. You made her cry. What do you tell her? He blinks as the girls glare at him. I'm sorry. I nod. Now tell her, or what I deem worthy punishment for you gets worse. He shakes uncontrollably with fear before apologizing. I am so very sorry for saying you have a flat chest small, and are a lesbo. That was so very rude of me. Jiro looks at him for a moment. Not forgiving you, grape-headed, spineless, perverted small PP, having obvious beta bottom. I try hard as possible, but I, along with all the girls, crack as my Netta cries Jiro. That was awesome. Do you got more? Says Mina as she walks over and high-fives Kyoka. A whole lot more. Mophead, keep doing your thing. I'm good now. I nodded before turning back to the grapist. Now, my Netta, I believe a fitting punishment is in store. Oh, I know. Ochako, will you kindly take away his gravity? I ask as she walks up. Sure thing, Group King Deku. I smile as she takes his gravity. Now, my Netta, I want you to imagine being one of the 6 beauties, and my sword here being you. What would you be willing to do to keep this blade outside of you? My Netta begins to try swimming through the air as the girls chuckle at the comparisons. No, you can't do that. I chuckle before saying, tis TSK. You forgot. Aizawa stated, I can punish violators of girls' floor rules any way I see fit. So you like to violate girls and rules, right? Let's see how you like to be violated. I slowly reach towards him with the sword as he spazzes out, and just as it touches his shorts, he voids everything. His bladder, bowels, and stomach. Everywhere, and passes out. That was scary as hell at the end, Midori. I laugh before I try to ask for cleaning supplies, so we can clean the mess up right as Aizawa arrives. Jesus Christ, problem child, what did you do to him? I look at Aizawa. I maybe may have made him think I was going to shove this up his bottom. I say, my stutter returning as Aizawa lets loose a genuine laugh. Fair warning. Never try and hear that. That was horrifying. Hell, Nizu should take notes on that laugh to use as a sadistic laugh. I know I sent any punishment, but geez, I never expected that. So, well, let's clean this up. Momo, already ahead of the rest of us, produced some gas masks and passed them around. Oh, thank God I can breathe again. Man, Midori got super pissed when he said that stuff about Jiro. Oh, does that make her #1 in the group? I freeze when Kyoka speaks. I'm not against that, but we all know it's either going to be Ochako or Yamamo. Starting to blush. Well, I mean, I did have a crush on him since he saved me from the 0-pointer and coming to UA. Followed by, yeah, that's true. Sue had won the second longest, I think, after Ochako. Mine only started after I lost to Tokoyami, and Midoriya came to find me and cheer me up. I truly began to panic. That's true, Karo. I was amazed he could even move when Shigaraki tried to kill me. If not for him and Aizawa-sensei, I'd be dead. Says Tsu, making me even more confused at what's happening. True. I remember when we went over the cliff at camp. Even though he was fighting those earth beasts, he always kept finding me to make sure I was safe, which I still don't know how. I was unnaked. So, yeah. I signed a force saying, "You left footprints was hard to miss." She giggles as she finishes her tale. Oh, here I was thinking you saw me naked. I was so not ready for tonight. Yeah, I was blown away when he easily could have done an Oko and beat Todoroki, but gave up his chance to save him from his past. Plus, he always helped me feel better after Bakugo made fun of me too much. Like that time he went off on me when it was just me, him, and Midori here, and he knocked out the yipping Pomeranian. I blinked. Oh, what are you all saying this for? Remember, past Izuku is dense as a brick wall. Really, Midori? I nod as we finished cleaning up the mess. Thankful Aizawa took my Netta back to his room before we started talking. Deku-kun, we all have crushed on you for a while now. Even Yamamo and Jiro. I nod and smile before it catches, and I take one step and black out. I wake up to find the girls, and I laying with my head on something very smooth. Confused, I open my eyes to see Ochako smiling at me, and turn my head to see the other 5 girls. I had the weirdest dream that you all had confessed to having crushes on me. I said with a chuckle. Mizuku, that was not a dream. I hear Momo say as I sit up. Wait, huh? Again, I was a very dense idiot. I apologize. We all have. I mean, heck, even the cold-hearted Jiro. Says Mina as Jiro glares at her. What did you say, Pinky? Do I need to remind you what I can do? As her jacks are raised and ready to strike. Oh, no thanks, he. Then Tsu spoke. It's not that complex, really, Midoriya-chan. Out of all the boys, you're the only one who does anything to stop my Netta. Karo, you're kind, brave, loyal even to Bakugo. You listen to us and help us even if it is to your detriment. You never stop showing us how amazing you are. Karo, without you here, many of us would be dead or worse. Karo, I blink as I take in the words she spoke. Not to mention you do more for us, like when you show us your notes on us that have all those theories of our abilities. Without you, I don't think we'd have come this far with our own quirks, and you did that without needing us to ask you to. Because you want us all to succeed. Yes, you stutter and blush because you're nervous around girls. But even so, you never push us away when we try to interact with you. Says Momo. Meanwhile, my brain is trying to shut down all unnecessary functions to keep me conscious. But I couldn't choose any one of you, as that'd hurt the rest. I like all you and crushed hard on all of you. They all giggled at me. We weren't kidding when we told my Netta we'd be glad to be a group for you. After all you have done for us, we couldn't make you feel bad by making you choose just one of us, Deku-kun. Said Ochako. I nodded, not yet truly comprehending the words. But isn't that a bad thing suited only for pervs? I asked as I was still unsure on groups. Sigh. Midori, I told you what a group was. I never. So it was a good or bad thing. Sighing, I asked, what if the boys found out, or the staff, or your parents? Wouldn't we get in trouble? I don't want kicked out of school or castrated by angry parents. The girls laugh. Izuku, do you think we haven't already talked with him and Inko? I start to breathe hard. Oh God. You mean my mom knows? Oh, I'm so screwed if I ever go visit. I panicked. Not proud of it. But I freaked right the hell out. Relax, Izuku. We don't need to do anything like that just yet. We aren't going to force you to do things you're not ready for. Plus, some of us aren't ready for that step just yet. Says Momo as Jiro blushes and covers her face. Sorry, I just need time, okay, Yamamo? The rest chuckled at that. Only if you all are 100% serious will I agree. The girls all nod to each other and as one. We are serious, Izuku. We love you. I smiled as I teared up a bit. I love you all too. Momo noticed the tears first. Why are you crying, Izuku? I sigh. Well, for most of my life, I had no quirk. That's why I never expected one girlfriend, let alone 6. Before I saved Ochako in the entrance exam, I was thought to be quirkless. The girls all figure out why I'm always stuttering and shy. You were bullied, weren't you, Izuku? Asked Mina, surprisingly enough. That's an understatement. I was a quirk test dummy. My grades were purposefully lowered. Girls toyed with my emotions. Teachers were in on it. My only friend was the worst. Bakugo. Soon as he found I had no quirk, he turned his back on me. He used his quirk on me, beat me. Even worse stuff. But if I could get a hero license and be a pro, I could show them I'm not a Deku. That I have value in this world. I spoke as more and more tears flowed. I held back only OFA and the worst of the bullying as well as the suicide baiting. They were all hugging me and crying. Why would people do that? Asked Ochako. Because people only care about quirks for the majority. I hid this stuff from my mom and Bakugo's parents. Those three were my only support. But I couldn't visit Bakugo's parents, my aunt and uncle much, as I'd risk more beatings from him. I say as they hold me tight. Momo spoke. Yet through all of it, you were the closest to being a hero than any one of us. You always smile and help others. You never wish harm on anyone. I wish we met sooner, Izuku. The girls all agreed, but saw the fear in my eyes. What's wrong? I sigh. If we did, you be targeted too by everyone. Aldera is hell on earth. Seeing my fear, the girls help me up and head to my room. Izuku, we will figure this out. Right now you need to relax and try to sleep. Okay, ask Toru. I will try. I say as the girls all leave, but Ochako. Hey Izuku, can I maybe sleep next to you tonight? I blink. Why? She sighs and sits beside me. So you will feel safe with me. So you know I won't hurt you. Plus I kind of want to hold you as I sleep. So I will feel better and help you feel better too. I smile. I'll hand to sleep, right? She laughs. Yes, Izuku. Just cause we are all dating you doesn't mean we're going to jump your bones soon as possible. I smile. Okay, just didn't want to disappoint you. Ochako laughs as we lay beside each other and cuddle. Well, plus I don't think you have condoms, right? I blush and shake my head. That's a good thing. Cause I am not ready for the repercussions. She said as she laughed. Me either. I smile. Before she leaned in and embraced me on the lips. I immediately felt time start to crawl to a standstill as a massive amount of energy filled my body and heart, and I melted into that strawberry-flavored embrace. As it was the first I ever had, and she was so good at it. After a minute, we break for air. Wow, Izuku, you're pretty good at that. Izuku, I have left my head. Ran outside, howled at the moon, crawled back to my body, then restarted. It was my first one, and I broke him. I hear her say, "You're an amazing embracer, Ochako." I say as she opens her eyes wide. Really? That was my first embrace. I smile at her. Mine too. She smiled as she put her head on my chest. Thank you so much for being a perv, my Netta. Now I'm dating 6 amazingly beautiful, awesome women. They're all so kind and hardworking. Brave, and they care about me. If not for you, I'd never have known. He's still gonna mess you up if you try any more of your BS, though. I look at my ceiling as I hold Ochako. Still, I never imagined this would end up happening. Was my last thought before sleep took me into its warm embrace. Oh, it just came to my attention from future Izuku. I never explained when this took place. About that. Well, see, we all got our provisional licenses, and this was just before we met the big 3. What? No, I obviously am President Izuku, not Authorson, you idiot. Wait, if I am President Izuku and writing this, doesn't that make me Author San? As a matter of fact, how am I communicating with future Izuku? Questions for later. Also in this Izuku, never let Katsuki in on OFA. That's for later. You'll see why. Just read I'm lazy and sleepy. Anyway, back to the rambling group stuff. I woke up the next morning with an unfamiliar weight on my chest, as well as some cushiony things around my head. Being the intelligent man I realize I'm on my back, so I'm very confused. Being the dumbass I reach up and feel a person and they have cushions on their oh my god. Oh, that feels good. I hear Ochako say sleepily. I look up, and they're looking back at me are the sleepy eyes of Ochako. Hi. Smooth, great job, Izuku, you idiot. Deku? Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. I hear her say as she rolls off me before we hear the music we dreaded. That was definitely one Mina Ashido laughing. Oh god, why is Mina here, Deku? I sigh as memories play in our heads. Oh no, that wasn't a dream last night, was it? I say as Ochako blushed, and Mina, being Mina, immediately assumes we slept together. No, we did not do it. I sigh knowing we're about to walk into our doom. Yep, all the girls are there. Yep, Mina assumed we slept together and asked, so how big is he and what did it feel like? Now I may not be up on all the social cues, but even I know what Ochako said next would doom us for eternity. So big, and it felt great. I immediately adopt a look of shock and horror and start shaking my head as Ochako catches on to what she just did. "Wait, we did slept together, Mina," yells Ochako as I try to regain my composure, only to be hit with a "so how do you know he's big then?" "Mina, really? Well, I might have him felt it just now." I grow paler than pale as all the girls look down to see a rather large bulge. "Quick, get his shorts. Off we must operate immediately," I hear Toru say as I immediately try to summon Satan to eat me alive. Hint, I failed and they did not. "Oh my god, mop head, that's few," Kyo says while she's whistling. "Definitely wouldn't expect that from his childish face," says Momo. Around and around it goes until my brain kicks in and I try to cover my morning wood. "What do you mean, is it weird or something?" Momo speaks first. No, Izuku, we're trying to say that monster of yours is very impressive," says Momo as she produced a ruler and walked up to me, and I panicked. Okay. I panicked and froze, standing straight up, arms at my side, not knowing the hell was going on when I hear, "Oh dear God, he's 12 inches long when hard." I then hear all the girls whistling and shouting cheers as I look down, and Momo is just staring at it. Is it okay if I put my shorts on?" The girls, of course, were mostly saying no when I feel a hand grab my rod and something wrap around it. "Whoa, he's 2.5 inches thick, ladies." More whooping, and the hand starts moving. "Oh, that's hot." The girl starts as I look down, and Momo is stroking my rod. "Oh, that feels great in Momo, but we'll be out late for O class," I say while I was trying not to squeak so much, but hot, she's great with her hands. She snaps out of it and coughs. "Ahem. True, we can finish that some other time," I heard Momo say before suddenly realizing, why did I do that? She was doing it on her own. And get dressed, and after tons of thinking of sports, really old ladies, and puppies, it finally went down. Phew. Saved by the will, Izuku Midoriya and Katsuki Bakugo report to my office. Son of a Y. I sigh as I head to the office. Thank you for coming, gentlemen. It's recently come to my attention that you, Mr. Bakugo and Mr. Midoriya, have a very colorful history, says Nizu as me and Bakugo both pale. We look at each other, and he looks angry, sad, horny, if I know how. He always has that same expression, no matter how he feels. Personally, I think it's all the pent-up frustration from being around Kirishima and not releasing. I may be dense when it comes to women, but dude, he totally wants his, but back to the story, please. I don't know what this Deku told Nizu entered rage mode. His name is Izuku Midoriya, not Deku. Just because he was a late bloomer doesn't make him useless or you better than him. What makes him better is he has the heart of a true hero. You, Mr. Bakugo, do not. Besides, Bratty never told us. We found out through a concerned third party. So grow up and shut up with the insults and disrespect. Do you hear me, little boy? I think Nizu broke the universe because Bakugo listened. The hell? I mean, he never listens to anyone. Now, Izuku Midoriya, I know you want him to become a hero. I understand that. I really do. But what he did was commit major felonies against you and others. You are very intelligent, far more than him. So please give me your reasoning for why you never told your mother or his parents. I sighed. Everyone else was abusive to me because I was quirkless. I had only them. I was afraid if I told them they'd turn on me too. I couldn't even finish before I was a crying mess. Nizu walked over and hopped on the chair and sat on my shoulder. You're like me, Midoriya. We both went through hell. You need to understand that no matter what, you're never alone. You can do this. You both need to know what his actions caused you to experience. I'm sorry we did not know any of this sooner, but we would never have taken a side without evidence. Understand? I nodded as I sobbed and did my best to finish. After he started to use me as a quirk test dummy, I only had Mom, as I was too scared to visit Aunt Mitsuki and Uncle Masaru, as it was their son who did that and I was not even their real nephew. Why would they believe me over him? As I spoke, Niza hopped down and went back to his desk. Do you see what you did, Katsuki Bakugo? As children, we develop most of our personalities. This is why Mr. Midoriya is always so shy and nervous around others. What would you do if you were the one without power and Izuku did this to you? Bakugo looked down. I would have killed myself within a year of the time I was used to test quirks. I cried softly as Nizu asked about that day. The day that changed my life forever. The day when you were attacked by the sludge villain and Izuku Midoriya, your main victim, tried to save you. What did you tell him to do after tossing his notebook out the window, after blowing it up? We both looked confused. I never said anything about that. I told him to take a swan dive off the roof and pray for a quirk in the next life. He stopped and started breathing heavy. Katsuki Bakugo, you need to listen now. If he had done that, he'd be dead, and you'd be in prison for baiting him into suicide. You do realize I have read his notebooks, right, Bakugo? Another path is that he could have become a villain and ended hero society within a year with all the information I've read in them. Now, where did this start? I sighed that we were 7, went to a forest, and he fell. I tried to help him up, and he used his quirk on my hand. I said as Nizu sighed, "Why would you do that, Bakugo?" Katsuki frowned. Because in my head, it meant he, a quirkless weakling, looked down on me. Nizu took a deep breath. He looked down on you by offering his hand when you fell out of concern for your safety? Pardon my French, Mr. Midoriya, but Mr. Bakugo, you're an idiot. I blinked a few times and looked at Katsuki, who also looked like the world was ending. Both of us thinking same thing. Holy cow, Nizu just swore. Katsuki's doomed. Nizu continued. But that's not the root of it, is it, Bakugo? Katsuki groaned. Do I have to say it? Nizu nodded. To find the root of the problem, we will find out the truth. So be truthful. Katsuki sighed. I couldn't stand how Auntie Inko and my own parents were always touting about how amazing Izuku was. I was jealous he got all their attention when I was supposedly so much better than him. The looking down on me was just me making up an excuse to abuse him. I, for the second time in my life, was angry enough to attack, but Nizu shook his head when he looked at me. There it is, Mr. Bakugo. You were just a childish brat. You didn't care what you did to Izuku or the damage it caused as long as everyone put their attention towards you. Do you know if it was not for Izuku Midoriya here that All Might himself has stated you would have died before he could save you? Katsuki looked rocked. What? He said in almost a whisper. That's right. You saw his skinny appearance, right? Well, he was. Their Katsuki Bakugo. He had gone over his limit that day. He saw young Midoriya rush in to save you before he could think of a plan and manage to get you the air you needed. If that one action had never happened, you'd be dead. How did you then treat young Midoriya for his actions saving you? You berated him and still called him weak and pathetic. All through this semester, including the fight, you have made it your mission to either permanently cripple him or get him and or yourself expelled. Do those seem like the actions of a hero? Not to me, they don't. I sighed knowing what was about to happen. Katsuki Bakugo, you were removed from Hero Course and blacklisted from all Hero Courses in Japan. When your parents arrive to discuss this, and Mrs. Midoriya, you will tell them everything. All of it. If Mrs. Midoriya decides to press charges, we will not interfere. Do you understand? Katsuki looked like someone ripped his heart out. What? So you mean Izuku is getting me expelled and possibly arrested? Nizu raised his hackles. No, you moron. You are the reason. Your actions against an innocent many times is the reason. You are wearing out what little patience I have for humanity. If I had it my way, I'd let him beat you to death. But no, we live in a society where the courts decide. So sit there, shut up, and wait. Make one noise, and you will have a very bad day, you hear me? I was terrified. I knew Nizu has a sadistic side, but Jesus. Yes, sir, Bakugo said tearfully. Good. Now while we wait. Mr. Midoriya, did anyone teach you this stuff? He asked, and I shook my head. It's all my own thoughts and hypotheses. I never had help with any of it. Nizu nods. Well, considering how much in here is correct, I'm blown away by your analysis. Not even I could figure out half of what you did. How would you like to start being Aizawa's aide with full pay? I stop and blink. You mean you'd pay me to teach this? Nizu nodded as he smiled while I was amazed. It's really that good? He chuckled before responding. I may say many things some untrue, but what I said about your notebooks and intelligence was true, Izuku. You have a brilliant mind. Your battle prowess grows almost immediately after seeing a move. Within moments you dissect a quirk and know its strengths and weaknesses. We can use a person like you to help take the workload off of Aizawa. I think he could use it. I was so happy to hear that. I'd love to Principal Nizu. Bakugo was shocked. He thought my notebooks were useless information. Now, he realizes just how powerful I could become as a villain and a hero, as I not only had the strength now, but the mind for it. After Mom and the Bakugos arrive, they call the entire staff in to ensure no deaths. Good thing, too. My mother may be kind and a bit of a worrywart, but never, under absolutely zero Cerealia instances, should you make her angry. Bakugo barely survived, as it took everyone, including me, at 8% to hold her back, and Bakugo was still only a hair's breadth away from certain death. She ended up pressing charges, and the Bakugos refused to plead innocent or no contest. They hated what their offspring did to me. Even if I was a villain, they said the treatment he gave me would still be wrong. That I think broke Katsuki. He became a blubbering mess, and for some reason, I felt happy. As if deep in my mind someone was glad to see it. It wasn't me, so it was weird, right? Anyway, yes, the third party was Momo. Yes, Nizu went hyperspeed, getting all the evidence. Yes, Shinso joined 1A. No, I had not been Momo over in class and had my way with her. That was at home a few years down the road, so a different desk. I made it back to the dorms before the rest of the class, and they were surprised to see a cuffed Bakugo with Aizawa removing all his possessions. Cue the long explanation later. The girls were crying and all hugging me. Bakugo got knocked out, frozen, burnt, and electrocuted. Aizawa just watched while recording the beating to play for the class later to show whenever we were sad or just for fun. That was hilarious. Moneta tried to perv on the girls and got kicked through the sky. So far, it looked like Team Rocket blasting off. And we ended up waving goodbye to idiot numero uno. Anyway, we had dinner and then curfew, so had to yet again ensure no boys in the girls' rooms, especially Grapes. Went from room to room, doing as such until got to the last one. Tonight's was Uraraka. "Oh, hi, Izuku," she said, jumping up and hugging me. Oof, holy, oh no, not anticipating her reaction, she slammed into me so hard I fell back and bashed my head off the floor. "Ow, sorry, Izuku," she said, helping me up as I was a bit dazed. "It's fine." "Ow, why is your room spinning?" She giggled. "I think you hit your head too hard." "My room isn't spinning," to Izuku. I sighed as I heard her correct herself. "Oka, it's okay for you to call me Deku. After all, you changed its meaning for me." She sighed and smiled softly. "Yeah, but I didn't realize the baggage that was behind it. I'm sorry for taking so long to understand the reasons behind your shy and nervous nature." I smiled brightly before sadness enveloped my eyes. "Well, Oka, it's mostly my fault for hiding it from everyone. I just wanted this place to be different from all the other schools. To have real friends like you. To not have to feel every day what I used to feel. So when I got in, I made a stupid promise to never mention it. Because in my mind, if I did mention that, then everything would be the same. Fear like that, Oka, it is hard to hold back." I said somehow, without a stutter. She smiled with teary eyes. "Yeah, but we all should have known, especially me. I was around you all the time, yet all I thought was he was just rude since he managed to get into UA." She felt bad for what I went through. "Oka, empathy is a gift and a curse. But I survived. Many others, even Katsuki, said he'd have killed himself if he was in my position back then. So I'm content. Yes, it was horrible, but I'm here now with the 6 of you girls. With Todoroki and Ida as good friends who respect me as a peer. This place is the heaven I walked through hell to reach. Especially with you. You're the first true friend I've ever had. You always have my back, and I have yours. We help each other when we're down. Like I told you after your loss to Katsuki, you did an amazing job. You did what I never did, Oka. You made him respect you enough to use your name, even if for one moment. So don't let that bother you. I may have nightmares and fears, Oka, but with you too, Momo, Mina, Kyoka, and Toru, I have something I never thought I would have. Love. Something I never thought someone like me could have. Yet I do. I love you just as I love the others." She was full on blushing Kirby mode. "I love you too, Izuku," she said with a blush and a smile before realizing something. "Wow, Izuku, you seem more confident the more you speak." Hee, though, can't say the same for this morning. Hee, I blush as I say. Well, to be honest, being stuffed into your melons was not how I imagined waking up. Nor having you 6 pull my shorts down. Or having Momo stroke me. So yeah, weird start today. Though you didn't help when you misunderstood Mina. Hee. Kirby Mode Blush 2.0 achieved. Well, sorry, I had forgotten who it was for a moment. Okay? Kirby Blush Mode 2.0 Pout achieved. I smile. It's fine. Besides, you didn't hear me complain when we woke up and you were on top of me, did you? Hindsight should have led with that. As she tackled me onto her bed and embraced me. I learned last night that I loved to taste her strawberry lips. We embraced for a while as our tongues waged war for dominance. After 1,000 years and countless sacrifices, mine won in the end. We broke for air after about 5 minutes. Dang, Izuku, you're way too good at that, she says as we lay there. I smiled. You're pretty dang good at that, too, I said as I suddenly felt her hand rubbing on my leg. And stopping at my pages, Oka, what you doing? I ask as she winks and grins mischievously. In a second, my pants and boxers are down, and she's stroking me. Ooh, that feels great, Aoka. She coos at me. Want to make it feel better? Not entirely sure what she means. I go. Definitely. Next thing I know, she turns around and has her tongue wiping my pages. As I stare at her in shorts. Well, yes, that feels amazing, I say as I kind of get the picture. She starts to put me in her mouth as I reach up and grab her little shorts and play with her rear as she squeaks. Ooh, does Deku want to taste me too? I squeak a bit as she strokes me when she leans to the side and wriggles out of her shorts and panties. Holy cow, this is happening. With my only coherent thought. She got back on top of me, but closer to my head this time as I begin licking her out as she gulps my pages. Both of us squeaking into each other's genitalia. She takes more and more of it each time she bobs down as I get more in her tasty sweet. I sort of stick my tongue in as deep as I can as I lick, and she wiggles as she squeaks louder into my pages. By the time she's made it to the base, I got her essentially humping my face before I hear a very loud squeak, and she arches her back with her pee-pee smashed into my face as she peeks. I love that, getting her juices splashing on me, and swallow what I could. She keeps sucking for a couple minutes before I say, Oka, I'm going to release. She sucks faster and faster until finally I unload deep down her throat. She takes 2 massive gulps before taking her head off my pee-pee as she turns to show me the remaining release in her mouth and swallowing it. Not gonna lie, that was hot as hell. We sit there a moment relaxing before she reaches into her nightstand. I think Mizu anticipated this. She says I asked what she means when she smirks. All of us have a few boxes of these in our rooms, including you, Izuku. She says, showing me a box of XL condoms. Well, guess now is as good a time as any. Do you want to? I ask her. That depends, Izuku. Are you ready to take the step? I think on it. If it's you, then I don't mind. It's fitting, as you've been part of most my first true friend, first girlfriend, first crush, first hug from a girl, first embrace, first BJ, first girl whose PP I ate out. So why not? I guess I am ready if you are. She smiled as she took one out. More than ready. Just to be gentle with that monster. Okay, Izuku? I smile at her. Yeah, just make sure you set the pace. Hee. I don't exactly know what I'm doing. She laughs. I don't either. All of the girls in the dorm are virgins, Izuku. Well, not me for much longer, huh? Then again, I am losing my virginity to the hero who saved my life and my friends too. So I'm okay with this. I smile as she kind of struggles a bit with the condom. I place my hands on hers and help her guide it down. Once done, she moves herself to sitting on my waist and takes off her top and bra, unleashing those large, beautiful melons, and I help lift her up as I try not to stare. She looks awed at how easily I lift her for some reason, then she guides me to her entrance. As I enter her, she squeaks and leans forward, and I lean up to meet her in a hug. I feel him and tell her, this may hurt, Oka. So once done, let me know when you're ready. Okay. She looks me in the eyes and says, ooh, yes, Izuku, I'm ready. I thrust up a bit as she bucks down, and as her breaks, and I enter her fully, I embrace her, so she doesn't scream aloud. I can feel her blood leaking down my pages. We break the embrace as she looks at me. You're so huge. I smile. Hee. Yo, you ladies are kinda knew that already. Hee. After a few minutes, she says she's ready. Okay, just let me know if I need to slow down. Okay? She nods as I start to buck in, and now she does so too. Oh no, Izu. That feels so good. My squeak as her wet, tight pee-pee grips me as I go in and out. God, You feel so tight, babe. She smiles and embraces me. As we speed up a bit, we were both squeaking into each other's mouths. Eventually, we speed up to the point the room is filled with the sounds of flesh slapping flesh and our squeaks. I can feel her slow down as she tells me to speed up and realize she's close to releasing. I speed up, and after a few minutes, I feel my liquid wants to burst out. Oka, we know I'm not going to release. I hear her squeak and say, oh yes, release it, baby. Do it for me. A few more thrusts is all I can handle as I start releasing like a fire hose, and she peeks at the same time. Oh yes, Oka. I grunt as my seed fills the condom. Oh yes. Ah yes, she said as we both feel the waves of our embrace. After a few minutes, we finally catch our breath as I slide out and remove the condom, as she says, that was amazing, Deku. You were so good at that, even for a first-timer. I laugh as she asks for the condom. Confused, I hand it to her only to watch her slurp down the contents. Amazing the things this woman willing to do with me. Tasty. Not machi, but close. I hold her after she disposes of the condom. Thanks, I think. You know you're pretty good in bed too, Oka. She then points out, you know you've barely stuttered a few times since you came in here, even before we started out this. Because I finally feel safe? I don't know, I hardly noticed I'm so used to it. She hums a bit before she leans up. So Royal Guard and paid teacher's aide. How do you like your new jobs? I chuckle. You know, I think I owe my net a thank you. If he wasn't a perv, I never would have known how you all felt, as I surely would not have been brave enough to tell first. We both laugh at that. Then look at the clock. Oh no, we gotta sleep. We have those special students Aizawa told us about tomorrow. We both groan. Well, maybe next time we do this a bit earlier in the day. I laughed alongside her before standing up. Maybe, though that'd be hard to explain to the boys after. She smiles and embraces me as I get dressed. I go to leave, and as I open the door, there's 5 horny women staring at me. I take it you heard? They all nodded. How was it? Asks Mina. Both Ochako, and I say. Absolutely world-shattering. They start drooling a bit. Guess we're gonna need to work out a rotation. Huh? I sigh. Well, how about we figure that out tomorrow? The girls don't move. How about you give each their first embrace, and see if that gets everyone to bed, Izuku? I blinked, and then looked at Ochako. Wait, none of them had their first embrace yet? I look at them, and they shake their heads. Except for Toru. She just says no. I sigh and ask, okay, who is first? They point at Sue. She slowly steps forward as I lean in and embrace her. She melts into almost immediately. We embrace for a minute or two, and after we break, she stares deep into my eyes. You way too good at that. Karo. I laugh as Ochako says, yeah, that's what I told him. And about the other things we did. Next was Mina. She was nervous, but soon melted into it, squeaking a bit. Each time I embrace one of the girls, I feel energy surge through me. After the embrace breaks, she breathes heavy. If you're that good at embracing, wonder about the rest. Ochako laughs, very, very good. I blush as Toru steps forward. I was not sure where her lips were, but she already figured that out and held my hand to lift to her cheek and chin before the embrace. It, just like with the rest, was absolutely incredible. I guess what Mom said was true. When you embrace someone you love, you feel energy pulsing through you. After a minute, we break the embrace, and she giggles. Yummy, can't wait for more hotness, Aizu. I blush as the super red Jiro steps up nervously. Well, hello, Rockstar. You nervous? She nods. Relax, it's just embrace. No need to feel so tightly wound. She nods and takes a deep breath before we lean in and embrace. Her eyes open wide as she melts into it. She hugs onto me as if she lets go I'd vanish. Her jacks vibrating with her beating heart. After we break the embrace, she realizes she was essentially wearing me. Mophead, we gotta do that a loot more for our practice purposes. I laugh as Momo steps forward blushing. Well, if it isn't Princess Zelda herself. Only Oka understands and giggles. Yep. He is sorry about showing her that without your permission. I laugh. Well, don't be, as it was a heck of a surprise. Momo shuffles a bit. Where's that beautiful smile at Momo? Did you forget our talk at the sports festival? The strongest are not afraid to smile even when scared, and you have an amazing smile. She smiles as she looks at me. Well, does my royal guard have something for me? I smirk. Oh, just my princess. But you'll need to lean in for it. And forgive my lack of height. The girls chuckle as Momo is the tallest by far. She leans in, and as our lips meet, I feel a huge surge of energy as powerful as the one I felt from Ochako when we first embraced. She melts into it, but again, I'm a short one. Okay, I fall back before the others realize we were tumbling to the ground. I bash my head off the floor. Yep, again. F you Ochako's floor, you're a heartless PPBLOAM. Apologies. I barely register that as I'm too enthralled by Momo's embrace. After a minute, we're both breathing heavy. Whoa, that was absolutely amazing, Izuku. You definitely are one hell of an embracer. I chuckle as she then realizes. When did we fall over? We all laugh. Well, I wasn't anticipating you to lean on me with all your weight, and seeing, as you're top-heavy, my center of gravity noped out. She blushed as she realized what was happening. It's always something with my melons and you. I laugh. You mean how yesterday you hugged me into them so deep I nearly suffocated? She giggles as Ochako smirks. Oh, so I wasn't the first pair you were almost smothered by? I flinch a yes, sorry about that, They all finally realize something. I didn't stutter until just then. Wow, so if it cures his stutter, we have a lot of work to do, girls. Says Mina. I sigh. Well, for now, we have beds to get to. They all groan. I know I don't want to either, but Aizawa said we have to meet some special third years. Let's go hop to, or no embraces tomorrow. The girls all pale as me and Ochako laugh. Good night, girls. I say as I head to my room. Only once again do I freak the hell out. How did that happen? Wait, did what she say about the condoms happen too? I look in a nightstand. I don't remember being there before. 15 boxes of XL condoms. Holy cow, Nizu. How horny do you think I am? I sigh before I just give up and go to sleep. Tomorrow will be a fun day. Yay. Sigh. Pain. All she knows and feels is pain. Every hour of every day. She needs to run. To find a way out. She tries every day. She fails always. If only the promise they made can come to pass. The torture, the experiments, and the violations would be worth it. Please, someone tell him where I am so he can do his promise. She yells this every day. No one ever listens. She would yearn for death, but that would hurt him. She must keep the promise. But how? She can't even remember her own name after all these years. Just her number 0174. That's her new name, not? But throughout all of this, all 11 years, she has not lost hope. He will save me and be a hero. Please save me, Emerald Eyes. Holy cow, I said with a start. Izuku, are you okay? Asked Momo as the girls had rushed in. No, I'm not. I said. I tried to lie, but I couldn't. Not after that, whatever that was. I didn't notice I was crying and Momo sat beside me and pulled my head to chest, and with her other arm, she wrapped around my back to rub my arm. What was a nightmare this time? I sighed. A girl I knew before I was diagnosed. She was quirkless too, but she was kidnapped and her parents killed. I started to say as she held me, and the other 5 put their hands on me to signal they were all there. I watched her being torn apart and put back together, raped, begging for me to help. Holy cow, that's messed up, said Jiro, who apologized after. It's okay, Zuku. It was just a nightmare, said Toru. I don't think so. I never had a dream like that before. I was there in the dream, like a spectator, meant to watch before the villains saw me and smiled. They admit that thing freaked them right the hell out. Momo was scared, but told me since her and I are class representatives and have highest grades, we have option every week to take a day off, so we can take it and would just be us here. That should help calm me down. The others wanted to stay too, but they didn't have good excuses to make. I asked if they could inform Aizawa, and they agree. Thank you, girls. I said, barely audible. I haven't dreamt of her before. Ever. What's going on? Momo and I sat there for God knows how long until I felt good enough to get up. Thank you, Momo, for being there and for letting me stay today. I don't think I could focus on class today, I say as she smiles. Izuku, I did it because I love you and because I could tell you were having a panic attack. Has that ever happened before? I sigh. Not a long time. The first time Bakugo almost killed me. I had panic attacks almost every day. Eventually, they just went away. This was the worst one. I said, feeling pathetic. Hey, I'm gonna play some Majora's Mask. Wanna watch? Or take turns? We can talk as we play. Just gotta keep your mind from falling back. I thought about it. Yeah, just try not to smother me to death with those massive memories if you beat a boss. While it will be a great way to go, I'd rather not die so young. Momo stopped and turned beet red. Oh, come on, it was the one time, and I realized it when you looked like a smurf. Almost sounds like you don't like having your face there. I giggled a bit. I didn't say that I wouldn't enjoy that. I just prefer not to die young. She giggled a bit. You put up a good front, Izuku. If it were anyone but me, Tsu, or Todoroki, you'd be fine, but you can stop trying to hide it from me. I know it scared you. You were shaking so much you just about tore your tendons. I sighed. Yeah, just it was so real. Like a vision. She blinked at me. The nightmare or my melons? She says with a wink. I smile softly. Both. She blushes and giggles. Smart answer. Now come on, I got a skull kid to bend over and stuff a sword up his rear. Sheesh, so angry. You lose every time, don't you? She blinks. How did you know? I chuckle. You literally just said you have a skull kid to bend over and stuff a sword up his rear. Oh, did I? I didn't notice. Yeah, sure, Momo. You don't like losing, Momo? She glares. No, not at all. That fuck him. Boss sucks. I laugh a bit, walk up to her and put my arm around her waist, and we head to her room. Kakin never beat him either. He'd say essentially what you had. Momo was nervous at my arm around her waist. You've gone brazen. Are you going to grab my buns there, Izuku? I blush. Only if you want me to. Super effective. Dang. Mina was right. You actually can be a great tease. She says, looking away. That's nothing. Should hear me sing sometime. I had to stop after Aunt Mitsuki wanted to jump my bones after I sang her an Uncle Masaru's wedding song. Momo was shuffling her feet at her door. Really? You're that good? I shrugged my shoulders. Wouldn't know, haven't sung in years. Now to the backstabbing of Skull Kid. I say as I fist pump, making Momo laugh. We get to her room and get seated as she turns the game on. Did you ever get nightmares from your quirk? She asks as she gets into the game. I sigh. Yeah, a few times. Especially after the fight with Todoroki and the summer camp raid. She was surprised as no one ever mentioned the nightmares in the dorm. That's a news to me, she says, running the Deku mask link through town. In my experience, Momo most didn't care about me unless they needed me for something. Usually pain. For 7 years, I'd not see my classmates as people, but demons in human skin. It wasn't until coming here that I received any praise from classmates that was genuine. She sighs. I could see that. If all they did hurt you and use you, it makes sense you'd see them as such. What happened here to make you see us as humans? I giggled. Not much. Just you all excluding Bakugo were nice to me. Genuinely nice. You never wanted to truly hurt me. As much as Kirishima thought Bakugo was barking nothing when he told me he'd kill me, he wasn't. Bakugo 100% wanted to kill me for real. I ruined his destiny by making it into UA from Aldera, too. That one caught her off guard. Wait, what? That's just stupid. I nodded. True, but we were talking about the explosive Pomeranian who has a 5-year-old opinion of heroes. Heroes beat villains and never lose. She blinked a few times and then looked at me. Is he mentally retarded? That made me laugh. No, just stupid. His mom had him tested every year. Plus, he called me the nerd, yet he would always be super studious and be in bed before 8 p.m. I never study, and I'm usually working out at 8 p.m. Momo flashed a grin at me. Oh, so that's how you got the 8-pack. Care to share those? I giggle. Share how? She looks like she's thinking about something, then, oh, I know. We play this, and each time we die, we have to remove a piece of clothing. I almost smashed myself in the face. I would expect something this dumb from Mina, Toru, Kaminari, or Mineta. Not from Momo. Are you really Momo? She laughs. Yeah, plus it could be fun, you know. I sigh. Oh, how I did not know where this would lead. Serious. I was a dense idiot. Fine, but no suicides. We have to actually die to an enemy we're seriously trying to kill. Deal? Momo smiles and blushes, thinking she's got this in the bag. No, Momo, you do not indeed have this in the bag. Deal. Prepare to be naked while I'm fully clothed. I smile. We're doing this on Majora's Mask, right? She nodded in agreement. I adopted a shocked face. making her think I suck at the game. Okay, but you start. 3 hours later. Due to a sanctuary rule of we go a full 30 minutes no deaths, we can either keep going or swap players. Yeah, she's naked, and I'm clothed completely still. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention while OOT is my favorite Momo. My best is MM. She pouted as she covered her nips. That's mean. I laughed. Well, not really. You just didn't ask the right questions. Side note, you have amazing nips and are well trimmed down there. Anyway, now what we do? I mean, you're naked. I'm not. Momo starts to think. Meanwhile, I'm doing my best not to not notice my bulge. How about truth or dare? Now I may be dense and occasionally ask stupid thing, but that takes a group. Just the two of us. I mean, I've never been to parties, but I always thought it took a group of people. Momo smirked. Oh, is Link scared of Zelda's possible dares? I blink. Blink again. No, just I only ever heard of groups playing it. She giggles, come on, just try it. I sigh. Okay, who starts? She tells me to ask first. I ask. Dare. What do I say? I dare you to stand up and show your assets, no covering. She pouts, oh no, I should have said truth. I smirked. Yes, you should have. She groans. Getting up, she stands in the middle of the room, taking her hands down, and starts moving around, showing her enormous melons and perfect nips, as well as the thick curves and well-trimmed hair, before bending over to show her idiot. Does Link approve of Zelda's body? She really into role play? Very much yes. She smiles before getting up and asking, truth or dare? She smiles, truth. She asks me, how long have you had your feelings for me? I chuckle a bit. Well, probably the sports festival. I don't really know. I've never been good at understanding my feelings. I did take notice of you at several points, though, before that. She smiles, that's okay. Can I ask what made you notice me? Is that allowed? Mess, screw it. Day one was your beauty and quirk. Battle training your brain. You were able to almost dissect my plan, but not quite, which I must say was impressive. Then the class rep vote and alarms. I was so nervous to be class rep and you the vice, as I never thought I could stand beside such an angel. The alarm when you trusted me to calm everyone down, and it worked. USJ when you were having difficulty coming up with a plan in Mountain Zone, as you had never dealt with real villains before. So you asked me, which takes humility to ask for aid when you're in the position of prestigious family, and recommended rather than fight a losing battle. She blinked. Wow, I figured out the beauty part, but you actually cared for my mind and emotions more than this body. I smiled as I answered, I will not ever deny your body is super hot. But let me ask you this. If a boy only cares for your appearance, is that love? She chuckles. No, I suppose not. Chuckling, I said, lust is not love, Momo. But I'd rather only lust for someone I love than not. If I only wanted to, as Kaminari would say, get my rocks off, I could do as such, but I would not be happy with myself after. I've seen the type of relationship that creates firsthand. I am the result. My mother works hard and barely has time off. I've never spoken with my father since declared quirkless. She smiles before saying truth. I see. How did you view me before the conversation after your loss? She goes wide eyes and shuffles a bit. Like I saw all boys at first. Then slowly I started seeing you as a respectful, kind, and loyal classmate, especially how you always took a stand against my Netta. I voted for you as a class rep after hearing her actual plan before Bakugo fired off that massive blast. It would have worked had he not thrown a tantrum. Then at USJ, I saw you above me in many things. It's why I was so crushed that I lost to Tokoyami. I wanted to prove we were equals. But you surprised me again, as I knew you were nervous and shy around girls when off the battlefield. But then you comforted me without berating me. You explained with an empathy I couldn't comprehend at the time, though. Now I know why. I smiled at her words. Thank you for that. Most thought I was acting when I would stand up to grape nuts. She laughed off that. I sigh. Well now, or never, I suppose. Dare. She stopped cold, never expecting me to ask for a dare. I dare you to strip dance, she says while licking her lips. Kinda saw this coming. Seriously, whoever the horn writing this is, please stop. Okay, but what's a strip dance? Oh, my God. I said I am dense, not retarded. Momo looks at me all deadpan. No, seriously, what is one? She sighs, picks up her phone, and shows me. Okay, I really should have seen that coming. She sports a devilish grin. Yes, yes, you should have. I sigh and resign myself to this fate, while secretly offering the grim Reaper all my monies for death. He said F your monies and I got started. Yeah, remember how I pick up on moves fast. Hee hee. I perfectly emulated the man from the video. Izuku. That was hot. I smiled at her, as now we're both naked. I figure well in for a penny in for a pound. Thanks. Just don't tell me in a hee-hee. I want to surprise her that I am a good dancer, which helped me pick up on that dude style and moves. I could understand them with my analysis, but without being a dancer, I had no hope of mimicking it perfectly. Momo just sort of drooled a response. Truth, I smile. Are you into girls and guys both? She laughs. Nope. Kyoka is a great friend, but I don't know if she's that way. But I'm only into guys. Well, to be more precise, one guy is Zuku. I chuckle. Good to know, Momo. I'm gonna go with dare again. I dare you to get in my bed and 69 with me. I blink. Heart stops. Brain power lowers. Some Nana Shimura chit cackles in my head and restarts everything. Okay then. Damn it. How did I not see this coming? F you future, Izuku, you right. Ahem. I stand up and we make our way to her bed. You know, I may not be very good at this, but I'll do my best. I say to her as she tries playing it cool by saying, Okay, Keizuku. I sigh. Should you really be more nervous about this than me? Momo sighs as we get in the bed. You have experience. I do not. I chuckle. Yeah, once. With Oka. So, basically, I know jack squat of what I am doing. She gets up on her knees and embraces me to steal her nerves. After the familiar energy pulsing through us, she turns around, sits on my chest, and leans forward while pressing her wet pee-pee a couple inches from my face. As she grabs my hard pee-pee and begins to stroke it as I begin licking her out, she squeaks with pleasure. Slowly before I begin flicking my tongue in her, as she now is licking all over my pee-pee until it's coated in saliva, she then takes about 6 inches in her mouth before having to fight the gag reflex. She begins to bob her head back and forth, taking more in, as I start pressing my tongue deep as I can enter her wet snatch. She squeaks loud as she sucks me off. I reach down with one hand and begin to fondle her massive melons, and the other I move to start rubbing her. She's overcome with pleasure fast, and her first orgasm hits like a freight truck. As she's pressing her pee-pee down on my face, I keep licking and swallow what I can as she is face down to the base on my massive rod. She's squeaking louder and louder, causing my pee-pee to vibrate with pleasure. She slowly recovers from the waves of release and starts back on sucking me. After about 7 minutes, I finally feel ready to release, and she keeps going, either ignoring me or not able to hear. I end up shooting a huge load into her mouth. She squeals with pleasure and swallows it all in a couple gulps. She pulls up off me, cleaning my pee-pee of excess on the way. Then, he looks at me smiling. Izuku, I was not expecting that it tastes so good. I heard you say you was going to release, and I want to taste it. You definitely are pretty good at eating it. I chuckled. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed your meal. Also, Chef Momo. She started chuckling as she crawls up beside me. You know, your stutter didn't appear most of today. When all the girls were here, yes. But that could be from the vision thing. And only 2 or 3 times since. I was actually surprised, really. I knew one time I stuttered on purpose, making you think I was bad at MM. But I did not notice I wasn't stuttering. She cuddled up next to me. Maybe if just one girl, you wouldn't stutter much, but the numbers might increase your stutter. I never considered that. She's smart. Maybe. I know now that Kuntsuki Bakaho isn't here. My stutter has gone down a lot, though. She laughed hard at what I called Katsuki. Ha, maybe. Though he ready to conquer Zelda's Dungeon Hero of Time Link? I smile. You're really into the games, huh? Hee. Ever since I called you at once, you've been going hard. Very well, princess, but remember it's dangerous outside. I need some form of protection. She smiled in return. Well, I kind of find it hot. Just don't speak. In grunts, that would be weird. Here, hero, your magic shield. She says, handing me a condom. Oh, the perfect weapon to conquer Zelda's Dungeon of Love. She smiles as I begin to wrap up. Can Zelda ride that mighty steed like a real cowgirl? I smile at her. Well, as long as you don't fall off. Hee, it's a bumpy ride, Zelda. She was about to move when I picked her up off the bed with just my arms, surprising her with my strength. Whoa, how are you doing that? I smile. This is just base strength. I mean, have you seen the long shot? The strength needed to even carry that one-handed is way more than you weigh, little Zelda. She blushes at that, as she's not little or light. I then move her into position and slowly lower her onto my 12-inch sword until it's right against him. About to break into the dungeon, Zelda. You may want to hug onto me and embrace to focus on something else, as this may be painful. She looks nervous and does as I suggested. As soon as our lips meet, she lowers down as I raise up and break it in one motion as I plunder through her depths. It was more painful than she anticipated. We just held on to each other as I stroked her hair and rubbed her back, whispering to her, "If you feel like you can't do this, I will not be angry if you wish to stop, Momo. I know that hurt more than you were ready for." She shook her head. "No, it's feeling a bit better, just a bit more, and we can start. Thank you for trying to be as gentle as you are. It makes this feel a bit more romantic than I thought it would be." I smile at her. It takes two to tango, as it were. I prefer to consider this making love as opposed to it is just an action with no emotion necessary to do. This between me and you and me and the other girls is not action, but emotion-based, as I love you, Momo Yaoyorozu, and I love them. She smiled as she lifted off MTO, a seated position. Can you imagine how Grapenuts would react, knowing you're sleeping the woman he considers his own goddess? I laughed at that. Pretty much. Though I do owe the perv for giving me the job of protecting you all from him and having you 6 beauties as my girlfriends. She smirks. "Oh, what are you going to get him?" I laugh directions to Bakugo's mom's house. Soon as he pervs on her, she's going to ass-rape him with a power drill followed by force-feeding him his own nuts. She's built like you, but has Bakugo's explosive temper and hates pervs. Momo laughs, but I deadpan. "Oh no, you're serious?" I nod as she laughs even harder. Before saying she's ready, she starts riding slowly at first and tries to build up speed as she's squeaking loudly before I have to hold her up, so he doesn't lose balance and fall. "Oh no, you're huge, whoa, wow, and nice and grab." I squeak as I watch her amazing move at high speeds. "Oh, thanks. Can't let Zelda fall." Oh, she gets to going faster as the room fills with the sounds of flesh on flesh and our squeaks and grunts. She starts to swivel her hips when she gets all my PP in her, and that is amazing. She goes for another minute before wrapped in the primal passion of her orgasm as she falls forward, and I wrap my arms around her. "Holy cow, that was amazing. Oh, how was that so amazing?" she says through panted breaths. I smile. That's because it's the difference between making love and X. And just that there is less actual pleasure involved in making love with one's lover, its emotions increase the pleasure far more. She raises her head and looks at me as if I said something deep. "How do you know that?" I shrug. Only child to a single mother who really wants grandbabies and soon. Trust me, she explained this stuff in detail. I may also have PTSD from that, by the way. She pales. "Oh, did you also explain you're 16 to her?" I sigh. "Yes. Many times, yes." She cackles before smiling at me. "Want to finish in this position, hero?" I smile back. "If that is Zelda's desire, then yes, m'lady." She chuckles before nodding, and I start pumping in, making her squeak even more. For 30 minutes we go at it. She hits it several more times before her final one as I unload into the condom. "Gonna release it, Momo." She squeaks and says inside. One more thrust, and the condom, soaked in her juices, gets another spritz as I unleash a monstrous amount into it. We both just hang on to one another as we catch our breath. "Aizu, you're amazing at this. Are you sure it was just your second time?" I laugh. "Yes, I am sure, and thank you." You were absolutely fantastic, especially considering how bad the break was." She smiles lovingly as she rolls off of me to her side. "To be honest, if it wasn't you, I'd have stopped as they wouldn't have cared. But you were so gentle and kind. It made me feel special that you paid so much attention to me and worried for me. Thank you for that." I smiled. Well, I'd be a PP if I didn't pay attention to my partner, especially for the first time. Now, wouldn't I? She smiled and leaned in, and we embraced. Sighing after, "Yeah, though, we should probably get cleaned up before the classes end and dispose of that." I laughed. "You're probably right, and I have a sneaking suspicion. I'll need the sword and shield for Grape, nuts after he notices Oka walking funny. Momo laughs. Well, I will be in the same boat thanks to your monster. I laugh hard. So now there's a boat? Cool, let's hop in, but I ain't paddling make grape nuts do that. Hee. She giggles a bit before we get up and dispose of the condom. I hit the showers and then notice classes will be ending shortly, and I get an idea. Back to Momo. I give her my idea, and she loves it. I await all the students, and I hear all the girls coming to their floor. They get spooked when they see me, then realize it's me. They laugh at how much they get scared. I smile devilishly as I can hear the perv running up the stairs. As soon as I catch sight of him, I charge, scaring the living hell out of him as I'm dressed in the ancient armor set from Breath of the Wild, wielding a savage lintel sword. Every other boy noped the hell out of there with him. I'm dying laughing as Aizawa, who is watching on the camera, cackles like a psychopath. That was funny, problem child. Glad to see you're feeling better. Yajirosa messaged about the panic attack this morning. I sigh. Yeah, it was weird as I felt like I was watching everything in person. That was the scariest part. But even if it was real, no useful evidence. Just flashes of images. Aizawa sighed. I may never fully understand your quirk, but if anyone can decipher it, that person is Yuizuku. I'd better go catch our brave heroes in training before they carjack someone and beat up prostitutes for money. Sigh. I wish that was a joke, but that happened last week. Weird thing happens in this universe. I nod in agreement. Cool. I'm gonna go ensure none of them tries sneaking in through the girls' floor. I wonder if I could have visions. Unless somehow she's the one sending this information to me. Met questions for later. Oh, right, girls' floor. Sigh. Weird day. She feels more pain every day. She begs and pleads with her captors to let her go. They never do. She begs the world to send Emerald Eyes to find her. He can do it. He's gonna be a hero. She needs him now more than ever because this is her last week before they give up on her. She hears them when they think she is too far away. But she hears many things. She knows not the limits of the powers they forced on her. But she needs Emerald Eyes to free her, to give her back her name. He knows. She knows he does, for he is special. Save me, my emerald-eyed hero. You're the only one who remembers me. You're the one this world chose. So please, Emerald Eyes, save 0174. She begs to the ceiling, her voice cracking from dehydration as time ticks down. Hope could be a gift or a curse. May hers be placed in the right one. So, this was the end of part 1 of this series. Stay tuned for next part of this series, and if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Until next time.